Hidden within the vast expanse of the stars lies a message that has whispered through the ages, etched into the weathered stones of ancient temples and the crumbling ruins of forgotten civilizations. Across the sun-scorched deserts of Sumer, the towering ziggurats of Babylon, the shadowed pyramids of Egypt, and the jungle-clad cities of the Maya, there exist enigmatic maps of the sky, celestial blueprints that defy simple explanation. These are not mere charts of familiar constellations or predictable orbits. They hint at something far more profound, a cosmic riddle that modern science has yet to unravel. The astronomers of these lost worlds, peering into the heavens with tools of stone and bronze, meticulously recorded the presence of a celestial body that refuses to align with our contemporary understanding. A rogue planet, a harbinger of destruction, a silent omen of cataclysmic change. Known in whispers as Nibiru, this elusive entity dances on the edges of myth and history, its name echoing through ancient texts like a warning carved in starlight. Could these maps, scattered across continents and millennia, serve as evidence of its once tangible existence? The Sumerians spoke of a 12th planet, a wanderer in the void, while Babylonian priests tracked its rumored path with dread and reverence. In Egypt, hieroglyphs shrouded in mystery hint at a star-like intruder that disrupted the divine order, and the Maya, with their uncanny precision, wove tales of a cycle-ending force into their calendars of stone. Each culture, separated by oceans and epochs, gazed upward and saw the same unsettling truth, a shadowy titan lurking beyond the veil of the known. Today, astronomers dismiss Nibiru as folklore, a relic of primitive imaginations, yet the consistency of these ancient records gnaws at the edges of skepticism. Why would disparate civilizations, with no means of contact, align their skies around a single, unacknowledged presence? The maps themselves are a gallery of intrigue, dots and lines tracing orbits that defy the neat ellipses of our solar system, symbols that pulse with unspoken meaning, and alignments that suggest a knowledge of the cosmos far beyond what we credit to the ancients. Perhaps Nibiru was no myth, but a real visitor, a planet or massive object whose passage once scarred the Earth, leaving behind floods, quakes, and legends of doom. Or perhaps it waits still, cloaked in the outer dark, its return foretold by those who watched the stars when the world was young. These celestial cartographies challenge us to look beyond the comforting certainty of textbooks and telescopes, to entertain the possibility that our ancestors bore witness to a truth we have forgotten or chosen to ignore. As we stand beneath the same sky they mapped, the question lingers like a shadow across the moon. Are these cryptic star charts a testament to a lost reality or a prophecy yet to unfold? The stars remain silent, but their ancient message endures, daring us to seek the answer in the abyss. Before the invention of telescopes or the launch of satellites, long before humanity harnessed the tools of modern astronomy, ancient civilizations gazed into the abyss of the night sky and crafted intricate maps of the stars. Charts so precise they aligned their temples, monoliths, and cities with the rhythms of the cosmos. These were not idle sketches born of superstition. They were deliberate, sacred records of a universe that spoke to them in ways we struggle to comprehend. Yet, buried within the meticulous star maps of Sumer, Babylon, Egypt, and the Maya, lies a mystery that defies the boundaries of time and space, a recurring whisper of an unknown celestial body, a phantom presence woven into the fabric of their skies. The Sumerian seal VA 243, a clay relic etched with cryptic precision, depicts a solar system not as we know it, but with an additional planet, a 12th wanderer orbiting beyond the familiar count of today's science. Across the Fertile Crescent, the Babylonian Mul.Apin tablets chronicle a celestial object that appears irregularly, a rogue entity that disrupts the predictable dance of the heavens. In Egypt, the Dendera Zodiac, carved into the ceiling of a temple to Hathor, unfurls a cosmic tableau where an enigmatic body hovers among the gods, its placement both deliberate and inexplicable. Far across the Atlantic, the Maya's Dresden Codex, a masterpiece of astronomical foresight, ties intricate cycles to a wandering star, a harbinger that once graced their skies and, they foretold, would return to mark the end of an age. Why, across continents and millennia, do these isolated cultures, divided by oceans and eras, converge on the same unsettling observation? Did they all bear witness to a single, shadowy truth? a celestial intruder that modern astronomy has dismissed as myth? The question gnaws at the edges of reason, for these ancient skywatchers were not prone to idle fantasy. Their records reflect a diligence that rivals our own. Their alignments, Stonehenge to Giza to Chichen Itza, testifying to a profound grasp of the stars. Consider the Sumerians, who in the cradle of civilization some 4,000 years ago, pressed into clay a vision of a solar system that defies our 9-planet paradigm, or 8, post-Pluto. That extra orb, often linked to the fabled Nibiru, sits like a silent accusation against our certainty, its orbit an anomaly etched in cuneiform. The Babylonians, heirs to Sumer's cosmic legacy, watched the skies with equal fervor, their Mul.Apin tablets detailing not just the paths of Jupiter and Venus, but a visitor that appeared without rhythm, a specter in the firmament. In Egypt, where the Nile mirrored the Milky Way, the Dendera Zodiac offers more than a decorative flourish. Its extracelestial marker, nestled among depictions of Sirius and Orion, hints at a knowledge suppressed by time or lost to the sands. And the Maya, whose calendar tracked Venus with an accuracy that humbles modern calculators, wove into their codices a narrative of a star that wandered, a force tied to cataclysm and renewal. These records, disparate yet eerily aligned, pulse with a shared urgency, an insistence that something vast and untamed once crossed their skies. Could it be coincidence that cultures so removed from one another with no means of exchange fixed their gazes on the same anomaly? Or does this convergence point to a lost chapter of our cosmic history? A chapter where a rogue planet, Nibiru, Planet X, or some unnamed titan, once carved its path through our solar system. The ancients left us clues, not in vague myths, but in the hard evidence of their astronomy. Cylinders, tablets, reliefs, and codices, each a breadcrumb in a trail that modern science hesitates to follow. Skeptics argue these are misinterpretations, symbolic deities, or exaggerated comets. But the precision of the records resists such dismissal. The Sumerian seal does not vague, it counts planets with intent. The Mul.Apin tracks motions too specific for metaphor. The Dendera Zodiac aligns with a sky too detailed for mere art. The Dresden Codex predicts with a clarity too exact for fable. What if this was no fantasy, but a memory? A collective observation of a body that once loomed large, its gravitational pull, stirring floods, quakes, and the collapse of empires? The possibility electrifies the imagination, a planet-sized wanderer, perhaps on an elliptical orbit spanning thousands of years, its passage a rare and devastating spectacle. Such a theory aligns with tales of deluge and upheaval. Gilgamesh's flood, the Bible's Noah, the Maya's world-ending rains, stories that echo across cultures as if rooted in a shared trauma. Yet if Nibiru or its kin once existed, where is it now? Hidden in the Kuiper Belt, cloaked beyond Neptune's reach, or lost to a collision that reshaped our system. Astronomers today scan the heavens with tools unimaginable to the ancients, yet they find no trace. Or perhaps they look in the wrong places, blinded by assumptions that the cosmos is static, predictable, complete. The ancient maps suggest otherwise. They speak of a sky in flux, a universe less tamed than we believe. These civilizations, for all their distance, shared a vigilance we've abandoned, a willingness to see beyond the familiar. Their records are not perfect, warped by time, fragmented by ruin, but their consistency is a siren call, urging us to reconsider what we think we know. What if their extra planet was a dwarf star, a brown dwarf lurking in the dark, its dim light invisible to us, but glaring to eyes trained on survival? What if it was a comet, its tail a banner of doom, its cycle stretching beyond our records? Or what if it was something else entirely, a force we lack the language to define, yet one they felt compelled to immortalize? The mystery deepens when we ponder their motives. Why risk the labor of stone and clay to document a fleeting vision unless it mattered, unless it shook their world to its core? The Sumerians aligned their ziggurats to the stars. The Egyptians built pyramids to mirror the heavens. The Maya sacrificed to appease the cycles they tracked. These were acts of reverence, yes, but also of warning, as if they knew the sky could turn against them. Today, we scoff at Nibiru as a fringe obsession, a relic of conspiracy. Yet the ancients were no fools. They measured seasons, predicted eclipses, and navigated oceans by starlight, feats that demand respect. Their unknown body challenges our hubris, asking whether we've overlooked a truth they grasped in their bones. Perhaps it's gone, scattered into dust, or flung into the void. Perhaps it waits, its return a ticking clock etched in forgotten glyphs. Or perhaps it's a metaphor after all, not a planet, but a symbol of change, a reminder that the universe is vast, wild, and indifferent to our certainties. Whatever the answer, these ancient sky maps endure as a testament to human curiosity and fear, a bridge between their world and ours. They compel us to look up, to question, to wonder. Did they see what we cannot, or will we one day see what they did? The stars hold their silence, but the maps, etched, carved, and inked, whisper on, daring us to listen. The Sumerians, emerging from the cradle of civilization in Mesopotamia over 4,000 years ago, stand as humanity's earliest known astronomers, their eyes fixed on the heavens with a precision that continues to astonish. With rudimentary tools, clay tablets, styluses, and an unyielding curiosity, they charted the night sky, crafting star maps and cylindrical seals that reveal a solar system far more intricate than the one science initially acknowledged. Among their relics, the specter of Nibiru, the planet of crossing, looms large, a colossal celestial body described in their cuneiform texts as traversing an elongated orbit, a wanderer through the cosmic deep. These wedge-shaped star charts, pressed into wet clay and baked by time, meticulously align the familiar planets, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, but also gesture toward an enigmatic object, one that appears only periodically, its presence a fleeting shadow across the millennia. The Sumerians' records, preserved in artifacts like the VA 243 seal, depict a system with an additional member, a 12th planet beyond the count of our modern reckoning. Its orbit, a vast ellipse stretching into the unknown. Zechariah Sitchin, a controversial yet influential interpreter of these ancient texts, proposed a daring theory. Nibiru's extended trajectory brings it perilously close to Earth every few thousand years. Its gravitational pull, a catalyst for global upheaval, floods, quakes, and the collapse of civilizations. Could the Sumerians, with their preternatural insight, have documented a reality we've since forgotten, a cosmic truth buried beneath layers of skepticism and time? Their astronomy was no primitive guesswork. They tracked lunar cycles, predicted eclipses, and aligned their ziggurats, towering step pyramids, with celestial events, their cities a mirror to the stars. The notion of Nibiru as a crossing planet evokes a chilling image, a titan slicing through the solar system, its path intersecting ours with consequences too vast to ignore. The cuneiform tablets, dense with symbols and star positions, hint at this cyclical visitor, a body that disrupts the orderly march of the heavens. Sitchin's interpretation, while dismissed by mainstream scholars as speculative fiction, draws from these very texts, suggesting that Nibiru's last approach may have coincided with cataclysms etched in human memory, the Great Flood of Gilgamesh, the Deluge of Noah, the chaos whispered in oral traditions worldwide. If true, this raises a haunting question. Did the Sumerians witness a celestial interloper, its passage a scar on the Earth's history, or did they foresee its return, encoding a warning in their clay? Their records are not vague. The seals and tablets pulse with intent, each line and dot a deliberate stroke in a cosmic narrative. VA 243, for instance, presents a solar system with a sun at its center, surrounded by planets, including one too many by today's standards, its size and position suggesting a significance beyond mere decoration. The Sumerians named their gods after planets, Anu, Enlil, and Nibiru in their cosmology was no minor player but a force tied to creation and destruction, a deity in the sky whose physical form they claimed to track. This blend of myth and observation blurs the line between science and story, yet their precision demands attention. They measured time in units of 3,600 years, termed shars, a cycle eerily aligned with Sitchin's proposed orbit for Nibiru, a rhythm that might explain its absence from our current view. Imagine a planet, or perhaps a brown dwarf, its faint glow lost in the outer reaches, swinging inward only once every few millennia, its approach a harbinger of chaos. The Sumerians, lacking telescopes, relied on naked-eye observation and generational knowledge, yet their maps suggest a grasp of orbits and alignments that rivals our own. Were they recording a memory, a sighting burned into their collective psyche, or a prophecy based on patterns they discerned in the stars? The idea stretches credulity, yet the consistency of their references, across seals, tablets, and hymns, resists easy dismissal. Modern astronomy finds no such planet, no rogue body lurking beyond Neptune. Yet, the Sumerians' insistence gnaws at the edges of certainty. Could Nibiru be a misidentified comet, its tail a banner of doom mistaken for a world, or a dwarf star, too dim for our instruments until it nears? Or perhaps a metaphor, a symbol of cosmic intersection, life and death, order and chaos, rendered in the language of the sky? The tablets offer no definitive answer, their script a cipher that tantalizes without resolving. Yet their context amplifies the mystery. These were a people who built the first cities, invented writing, and laid the foundations of mathematics, hardly prone to wild fantasy. Their ziggurats, rising like stairways to the gods, were observatories as much as temples, their priests doubling as astronomers, their kings claiming divine insight from the stars. Nibiru, in this light, was not a casual addition, but a keystone in their worldview, a planet whose crossing marked epochs of transformation. Sitchin's theory, though contentious, posits that its last visit, perhaps 3,600 years ago, stirred the Earth's crust, shifted seas, and left humanity reeling, a trauma preserved in flood myths across cultures. Critics argue he cherry-picked translations, bending words like Nibiru, which can mean crossing or ferry in Akkadian, to fit his narrative. Yet the Sumerians' own depictions, planets in sequence, an extra orb in tow, lend a visual weight to his claims. What if they were right? What if Nibiru, or something like it, once traced a path through our system, its gravity a silent architect of disaster? The absence of evidence today, no perturbations in planetary orbits, no trace in the Kuiper belt, does not erase the possibility. It may simply mean we're looking at the wrong time, the wrong place. The Sumerians, after all, saw the sky with different eyes, unburdened by our assumptions, attuned to cycles we've forgotten to count. Their maps suggest a universe less fixed than we imagine, a solar system with room for wanderers, for intersections that reshape worlds. If Nibiru exists, where is it now? Lurking in the Oort cloud, a distant speck awaiting its next approach, or shattered into fragments, its legacy scattered in the asteroid belt. Or perhaps it's a ghost, a memory of a one-time visitor, a rogue captured briefly by the sun's pull, then flung back into the void. The Sumerians left us no final proof, only fragments, a seal here, a tablet there, a name whispered in hymns. Yet those fragments coalesce into a vision that challenges our complacency. A vision of a sky alive with possibility and peril. Their astronomy was a dialogue with the cosmos, a plea to understand forces beyond their control, and Nibiru was its most enigmatic voice. Whether real or symbolic, it embodies the Sumerians' awe and dread, their recognition that the universe is vast, unpredictable, and indifferent to human fate. As we peer through our telescopes, mapping a sky we think we've mastered, their ancient records beckon us to reconsider. To wonder if they saw what we cannot, or if they foresaw what we will. The clay has hardened, the seals have cracked, but the question endures, as timeless as the stars themselves. Did the Sumerians chart a forgotten truth, a cosmic intersection we've yet to rediscover, or a myth that reveals more about their minds than our heavens? The answer, like Nibiru itself, remains just beyond our grasp, a shadow crossing the edge of understanding. The ancient Egyptians, masters of stone and sky, wove their understanding of the cosmos into the very fabric of their civilization, leaving behind a legacy of celestial records as enigmatic as the sands that guard their monuments. Their temples, Karnak, Luxor, Edfu, stand as testaments to a profound alignment with cosmic cycles, their axes pointing toward solstices and stars with an accuracy that defies their era's simplicity. Yet within their myths, papyri, and carvings lies a darker thread, a whispered tale of a celestial disruptor, a harbinger of chaos, cloaked in red. The Papyrus Ipuwer, a fragile scroll steeped in lamentation, recounts a world undone, rivers turned to blood, fire raining from above, and a land gripped by upheaval. Catastrophes that some scholars link to a disturbance in the heavens, a sky thrown into disarray by an uninvited presence. At Dendera, within the temple of Hathor, the famed zodiac unfurls across a stone ceiling, its circular map brimming with familiar constellations, Leo, Scorpio, Orion, yet punctuated by an anomaly, a mysterious red orb. A fiery sphere hovering among the gods and planets, its purpose shrouded in silence. The The Book of the Dead, that sacred guide to the afterlife, speaks elliptically of a star that returns, a celestial force tied to transformation and upheaval, perhaps an echo of the mythic destroyer, a figure of dread whose crimson hue stains the edges of their lore. Did the Egyptians bear witness to the passage of a heavenly invader, a rogue body that scorched their skies and scarred their memory? And did they, with their genius for encoding truth in symbol, embed its prophesied return within the labyrinth of their mythology? Theirs was a culture obsessed with order, the eternal cycle of the sun god Ra, the predictable flood of the Nile. Yet these records hint at a rupture, a moment when the cosmos betrayed its rhythm. The Papyrus Ipuwer, though debated as history or poetry, paints a scene too visceral to dismiss. The land is in turmoil, the fire consumes, the river is blood. Words that evoke a sky ablaze, a planet or star-like object trailing ruin in its wake. The Dendera Zodiac, carved with meticulous care, offers no casual doodle. Its red orb sits deliberate and distinct, a marker amid the divine assembly, suggesting a knowledge too specific for mere fancy. Scholars speculate it could represent Mars, with its ruddy glow. Yet Mars moves predictably, unlike the returning star of the Book of the Dead, which implies a cycle beyond the familiar. This destroyer, woven into tales of Sekhmet, the lioness of war and fire, or Apophis, the serpent of chaos, emerges as more than metaphor, a celestial entity perhaps, whose approach shattered the Mot, the sacred balance of their world. Imagine a crimson wanderer, a comet, a planet, a dying star, sweeping near, its light bathing the desert in an alien hue, its tail or debris igniting the atmosphere. The Egyptians, with their priests atop temple roofs tracking Sirius and Orion, would not have missed such a spectacle. Their records suggest they didn't. The alignment of their monuments, Giza's pyramids mirroring the belt of Orion, shows a people attuned to the heavens, yet the red orb and returning star speak of something erratic, something feared. Could this be Nibiru by another name, its passage noted by Sumerians and Egyptians alike, a shared vision across the ancient Near East? Or was it a unique intruder, a one-time visitor whose fiery transit left a wound in their psyche? The Papyrus Ipuwer's chaos aligns eerily with biblical plagues, bloodied waters, darkened skies, raising the possibility of a regional event, a celestial interloper felt from Memphis to Mesopotamia. The Dendera Zodiac, dated to around 50 BCE, but reflecting far older traditions, positions its red anomaly with a precision that chills. Not a random flourish, but a calculated inclusion, as if to say, this was seen, this was known. The Book of the Dead, guiding souls through the Duat, hints at a cosmic reckoning, a star that returns to judge or renew, its cycle a secret guarded by Anubis and Osiris. Sekhmet, the Red Lady, burns with a fury that could mirror a blazing sky, while Apophis, foe of Ra, embodies a darkness that might cloak a rogue body's approach. Were these gods born of a real event, their stories a mythic shroud for an astronomical truth? The Egyptians excelled at preservation, mummies, tombs, texts, yet their celestial clues remain tantalizingly vague, a puzzle half solved. If they saw a red destroyer, its nature eludes us. A comet with a scarlet tail, a planet aglow with reflected light, or a stellar remnant flaring briefly in our system? Its effects, if real, would have been profound. Tides surging, dust choking the air, a red dawn lingering for days. The absence of direct evidence, no crater, no orbit, doesn't negate the possibility. Such a body could have passed without collision, its influence gravitational or atmospheric, its mark left in memory rather than stone. The Egyptians, unlike the Sumerians with their explicit seals, preferred allegory, their astronomy veiled in ritual. Yet the consistency across these sources, papyrus, zodiac scripture, suggests a shared observation, a red specter that defied their ordered sky. Did they encode its return as a warning, a cycle ticking down through the ages? Their calendars tracked centuries with uncanny skill. Could they have calculated a trajectory we've lost? Today, we scan the heavens with satellites and telescopes, finding no trace of a destroyer, yet the Egyptians' gaze lingers in our blind spots, their red orb a question mark against our certainty. Perhaps it's gone, its orbit decayed or its form dispersed. Perhaps it waits, veiled beyond Pluto, its crimson light too faint for our machines. Or perhaps it's a symbol, a lesson in chaos dressed as a star, a reminder that even the eternal sky can turn against us. The temples stand silent, The papyri fade, but the mystery endures, a scarlet thread through Egypt's cosmic tapestry, urging us to wonder, what did they see, and when will we see it again? The Maya, with their jungle-shrouded cities and towering pyramids, emerged as celestial architects of unparalleled mastery, their astronomical prowess etching a legacy that still haunts the modern mind. Renowned for predicting eclipses with breathtaking accuracy, they peered into the heavens not merely to chart the familiar, but to unravel a deeper, more ominous rhythm, a cycle of cosmic upheaval encoded in their sacred Dresden Codex. This intricate manuscript, a tapestry of glyphs and star paths, transcends routine observation, hinting at a recurring celestial event tied to annihilation's shadow. The Long Count calendar, a monumental timekeeping system spanning millennia, tracks vast epochs with a precision that suggests more than earthly concerns, perhaps marking the ancient passage of a rogue body like Nibiru, its orbit a slow drumbeat across the ages. Their Venus tablets, detailing the planet's motions with obsessive care, reveal subtle irregularities, wobbles and shifts that whisper of an external gravitational force, an unseen titan tugging at the solar system's delicate balance. Within their texts and stelae, the Maya wove tales of cyclical destruction, cataclysms synchronized with stellar alignments, where floods, quakes, and darkened skies heralded a world unmade. Could these masters of the cosmos have been warning us of a grand celestial reckoning, a disaster scripted in the stars? Their pyramids, Chichen Itza, Palenque, aligned with equinoxes and constellations, stand as silent sentinels, their steps climbing toward a sky they revered and feared. The Dresden Codex, one of the few surviving testaments of their genius, pulses with cryptic urgency. Pages of planetary cycles, eclipses, and a wandering star that disrupts the divine order, its return a specter of renewal through ruin. The Long Count's endpoint, December 21st, 2012, famously stirred modern imaginations, yet its true significance may lie in past resets, moments when a celestial intruder reshaped their world. The Venus anomalies, too precise for error, suggest a gravitational interloper, perhaps Nibiru, perhaps another, its pull a hidden hand in the cosmic dance. The Maya's destruction cycles, etched in stone and ink, speak of a pattern. Every few thousand years, the heavens conspire and the earth trembles. Were they chronicling a memory, a first-hand witness to a red-hued destroyer like Egypt's, or forecasting its inevitable encore? Their precision, tracking Venus to within hours over centuries, demands we take their warnings seriously. No mere superstition, this was science cloaked in ritual, a plea to posterity from a people who saw beyond the horizon. If they foresaw a celestial calamity, its absence in our skies today only deepens the enigma. Has it passed, its wreckage lost to time, or does it loom, a silent threat in the outer dark? The Maya's codices and calendars, fragile yet defiant, challenge us to listen, to ponder whether their ancient gaze caught a truth we've yet to face. As the Maya's cryptic warnings fade into the jungles of time, modern science now turns its gaze to the same shadowed corners of the cosmos, probing mysteries that echo the ancients' enigmatic records. Today's astronomers, armed with telescopes and satellites, are beginning to peel back layers of the solar system that may vindicate, or at least resonate with, what those early skywatchers documented. The hypothesis of a ninth planet, a massive, unseen body lurking beyond Neptune, has gained traction, its existence inferred from gravitational ripples disturbing the orbits of distant objects in the Kuiper Belt. NASA's data reveals inexplicable disruptions, tugs and pulls on the outer planets that defy the tidy mechanics of our known system, hinting at a hidden colossus exerting its silent influence. The 1983 IRAS infrared survey adds fuel to the enigma, a fleeting detection of a large planetary object, dismissed by officials as an anomaly, yet its abrupt rejection raises a whisper of doubt. Why so quick to bury the find? Could the Sumerians, Egyptians, Maya, and others have chronicled a truth that science is only now, reluctantly, rediscovering? The parallels are uncanny. Ancient maps and tablets speak of a rogue celestial body, Nibiru, the Red Destroyer, the Wandering Star, while modern models grope toward a similar phantom, a lost planet adrift in the dark. But the question deepens as we bridge past and present. Are these ancient star charts mere relics of primitive wonder? Or do they encode a warning we've ignored for too long? Across cultures and epochs, from Sumer's clay seals to the Maya's codices, a singular thread emerges. A tale of an outsider, a celestial interloper unbound by the recognized order, a harbinger of chaos and change. Were these myths born of imagination, or did our ancestors with their unclouded eyes leave us a message carved in stone and starlight? The consistency of their accounts, spanning continents, languages, and millennia, defies coincidence, urging us to reconsider what we dismiss as fable. If they were right, if a massive body once crossed our skies or still circles in the void, have we been deaf to their pleas, too entrenched in our certainty to heed the signs? And if their fears hold truth, are we inching closer to its return? A reunion with a force they dreaded, its shadow already stirring the edges of our system. The past murmurs through these ancient maps, a chorus of voices from forgotten observatories, and the question lingers, heavy and unresolved. Are we witnessing the dawn of a rediscovery or the prelude to a reckoning? Their records challenge us to look beyond the familiar, to ask whether their primitive astronomy captured a reality we're only now equipped to chase. Science and myth converge in this cosmic dance, and as we sift through data and dust, the ancients' whispers grow louder, urging us to listen, to wonder, to fear what might yet come.